Hello and welcome to the Black Eye Podcast. I am your host, Michelle. How are you doing today? Well, I have a question. Do we need a black Ariel? Do we really need a black little mermaid? Well, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to the question is, but this is how I feel about it. The answer to the question, well, I'm not going to answer the question because I really don't know the answer to the question. I was going to do a pretty spirited rant about how I felt that the Little Mermaid being black, and I'm still going to probably do that rant. I'm just going to tell you ahead of time to be prepared because it probably will happen. But that the Little Mermaid, you know, we really didn't need a black Little Mermaid. We didn't need a black Ariel. Ariel had been over 100 years. It was written by Hans Christian Andersen, I guess over 100 years ago. I know the book was around since I was alive. And I've read it many times. Also, I read Hans and the Silver Skates, I think it was. Well, I can't remember. It was a long time ago. That used to be my jam. So I'm not against white people or I'm not against black people. But what I am frustrated against and what I am frustrated about, I should say, is the lack of amplification of original black voices. Now, I think Haley, is that her name? Haley Bailey? Is a beautiful, beautiful young lady. And the song it's still, it wrenches you just as much as it did before. And the movie, the opening, that looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. Okay? But as a black American person, I feel frustrated at seeing black Americans be the flip side of a white idea. And I feel this way because, again, Little Mermaid was made. It was written over 100 years ago. We know that the mermaid was white, even though, everyone's saying, well, there really was no race. No, it was written by a white man, and the assumption that the Little Mermaid, he wrote it from his perspective. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But, there are black authors who wrote about mermaids, black mermaids to be specific. And I wanted to know why those voices weren't amplified. Why do we have to retread the same old story, just race swap it? Why can't our voices be amplified in the industry? Original stories, original voices, original actors. It's this, and I feel this way if it were Black Panther and somebody decided, oh, we want to make a White Panther and he's going to go around South Africa and he's going to do this and that and the other thing. I would be very upset about that. It's like, why don't you leave that alone? Black Panther is an original work of art. You don't have to come in there and make a white version of it or an Asian version of it or any other kind of version of it. Let that stand on its own. Because it's okay for white people to have white characters. When you really want to include us as black people, then you should include the voices and our originality, not just make us the flip side of the white coin. And so, as beautiful as this movie is, I do understand the frustration that people feel at seeing this Ariel. Because how old are the Disney movies? The Disney movie itself is like over 20 years old, right? So that's a whole generation. That's a lifetime. I've read the books, again, a lifetime ago. How old are the books? Hans Christian Andersen books that these are based on. The story is based on. It's over 100 years old. And Black Americans and Africans have tales and stories and epics that can be told. Why not tell those stories? If you really want to be inclusive, include all the voices, not just the Disney ones. And maybe that's what I'm upset about. Maybe I want to see something that isn't Disneyfied. Maybe I want to see that. And I know, it has nothing to do with me. I'm too old to be thinking about The Little Mermaid live action, but I still love the movie. In my opinion, Sebastian was the star anyways, and Ariel was the sidekick. Nobody cared about Ariel. It was Sebastian all the way. And if they messed up Sebastian in this movie, I'm really done with it. I'm going to come up here like a raving mad reviewer, and I'm going to tear it apart because they messed up Sebastian. But I digress. I realize that, again, this is not about me. It's not about me. I know how, that maybe other people need to see a black Ariel. I don't see people having apoplectic fits because there wasn't a black Ariel, but I can understand why people or Black Americans needed to see a black Ariel. And I can understand when the people are saying, well, it was only a mermaid, and, why are you being so upset about it? It doesn't make sense for you to be upset about it because it was only a mermaid, and mermaids have no color, and it's a fantasy. It was what it was, okay? It was what it was. Just like black authors wrote stories with black people in them, white people wrote stories with white people in them. And again, I don't really have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with Tolkien being Tolkien. He based his works on, I think it was some northern something in Europe. I forgot now. I should remember. But, that's what those stories were based on. It wasn't about being racist. It just was, these were these stories, and he formed an epic around these stories. He built a world around these stories. African American writers did the same thing. African tales are out there. African American or Black American epics are out there. How about we amplify those voices? I'm not saying that you can't put a black elf in there and all that kind of stuff, but why do we always have to be that side of it anyway? We always got to be intruding on their stuff. Why can't we have our own? Why can't our voices be more heard? I'm not going to get too far into this. I'm not going to give it more credence than it deserves because, I really do understand the people who feel that, who are purists like I am a purist. I'm not racist. I just, I had imagination and I imagined things differently than Hollywood did. And I'm not a fool. Of course, we recognize this is a new world, and you can definitely incorporate people of other races and things like that. I'm just saying, why do we always have to consistently, as Black Americans, keep reaching for what the white folks have? Why can't we reach for the stuff that we have? We have rich history, rich stories, rich tales, superb writers with exceptional imaginations. Those voices should be heard. With that being said, like I said, I don't want to give this any more credence than I already have. You know, I feel this way if it was the flip side and there was black characters and then they made the character white or Asian or anything like this. Like, leave it alone. Leave it alone. That's an original work. I don't necessarily feel that I need to be represented in everything, to be honest with you. I like Wonder Woman. She was white. I understand that she was white. That's fine. It really isn't about, I need to see myself. I don't know if I need to see myself in everything. I don't know if everybody needs to be represented in everything. Some of these tales were about, Poland and places where I'm pretty certain not many Africans came to. The Netherlands, the early part of Northern Europe. I mean, I'm pretty certain there were that many black people, and that's okay. Just like there are tribes in Africa where there weren't a lot of white people. And again, let me just go back and say, I get why people or parents or whatever feel they need to see a black Ariel. I get it. I understand. I do. I really do. Anyway, like I said, I'm not going to give it any more credence than I already did. I wish this movie the best. I have no ill wills against it. Halle Bailey, beautiful girl. The movie looks exquisite. It's that song, very good. Again, I'm not really all that keen on Ariel that much because, in my opinion, we need Sebastian. So if they mess up on Sebastian, I'm not going to be happy about that, even though I really don't have any business talking about The Little Mermaid anyhow, but I'm talking about it. So I'm going to end this segment here. So tell me what you think. I mean, am I just being crazy and being too much of a purist? Thinking that we didn't need a black Ariel. How do you feel about it? The reception to her seems to be very positive, and so with that, I am happy. I am happy that her being seen, Halle Bailey, the black Ariel, is being seen and positively received. I am very happy about that. And as I said, I'm going to end it here. Like, share, and subscribe. Listen, I just want to take the time to thank you all for taking some time out of your day to listen to this podcast all the way to the end. Because if you made it here this far, then I do have to thank you. And thank you for your support. I'm a little bit surprised at some of the responses I have received. But please, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I really want to know what you think and how you feel, whether you agree, whether you disagree, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, whatever. Help a little channel like me grow. And I just want to tell you to, thank you for your time and be blessed. Bye-bye.